All right, guys, let's see about making a set out in Fitzgerald. We've run our A724 up here in the last video. We've taken the siding. We're sitting here by the yard, and we've got a pretty sizable cut to set out for the local. I think the local back in the day was A726, right? I think so. Let's just look over our train. It's almost 4,500 feet. Yeah, we just hung out just a little bit. I was wondering that. I was wondering if we were going to clear up when we came up here, but that's all right. We're fixing to clear that anyway so they can get going. We've got a few tracks in the yard clear to set something over in. The cut is not going to fit, like I said. It's pretty sizable, but we can double it over. Let's do that so we can see the tags. Our Fitzgerald cut goes all the way to, so yeah, so we'll Fort Hill. These carbon black cars here that go down the Oscilla spur. So yeah, a good size cut. So I think what we're going to do is set it over in this yard track and then the remainder of them in this yard track, and we should be good to go. Let's go ahead and drop down on the ground, and we'll see about pulling ahead and making our cuts. Let's do a reverse or forward, headlights on bright. We can get auto going if we wanted to. We can get auto going, and we could even dial him up. Go ahead and release the brakes. Start pulling on it here. Oh, it's got parking brake. Never mind. There we go. Now we're good. All right, we'll start easing them ahead to our cut. And then we'll pick a track. I think we're going to go in this first track right here. I said first initial cut, first track, and then the remainder in that outside track there. This track straight ahead here, and I don't know what these are labeled. I don't have the map in front of me. Outbound cut to pick up when we go back south. All right, I think that's good right there. Let's just keep easing them ahead. Just as long as we keep an eye out and we don't miss that that cut. All right, so either way, I don't have much experience with Fitzgerald proper. As far as what I did, I think I went into siding down here once or twice, but it wasn't a lot. I remember stopping and holding the main for crew changes because they used to make crew changes here. They did it over here in this little yard office here. So basically what they would do is they would run Atlanta to Fitzgerald and Fitzgerald to Waycross on the short pool, and then I think they did Fitzgerald to Baldwin and Fitzgerald to Jacksonville as well. But yeah, they did a crew change there, and at least from my experiences with it, it would tie up the main line. Let's go ahead and get a light. We shouldn't get into that signal down there, I wouldn't think. I don't know, we might. This is a pretty good cut. I think basically this is like half of our train. There's our cars we got to cut off with. Go ahead and keep pulling on them. So it's a little uphill right here. I think the crest is somewhere in here because on past the north end of Fitzgerald, there's a big dip. All right, he gave us a light. At least he says he did. So I want to cut. We're going to make our cut about right here. That way we have plenty of room. It's clear. Actually, might go down just a little bit more here. Do a little air. Pull on some more. Oof, I may have rolled past it. Yeah, we're good. Good enough. Sweet. All right, let's see about making our cut. Grab you. Close angle cock. Pull the pin. We're not going to tie it down. We're literally going to be right here with it. So yeah, I'm not going to bother tying it down. Let's see. We pulled the pin. We're good. Let's hop up. And we need to take it ahead. Release the brakes. Crack the throttle. Out the independent. Tell them we're up in the clear. You can take them ahead. Do the switch. Sweet. All right, that'll do. With the throttle, we'll just ease on the other side of this crossing here. We'll stop. You know, in real life, if there were cars here, I would clear it up while I'm throwing the switch, let some cars go by, you know, that sort of thing. Yeah, that'll do right here. That's good. Let's hop down. Let's go grab our switch. So yeah, we'd let the traffic go by in game. There's nothing here. I don't even know where, like, even in real life, I don't know where this road went. I don't know if this is only just for the yard or if this is like a through road or what. I have to check out on Google Earth sometime. So either way, we got our switches lined. We're in the clear. Got her in reverse. Let's come on back. We'll grab up. And we'll go to the next switch. People get upset when you're switching around road crossings like this. They can get upset. I've been cussed out and was flipped off and everything else because people didn't like you blocking the road crossing. Even though, like, if it was practical, we always try to clear it up and let people go through when we could, but like sometimes you just couldn't do that, and that's when people would get really torqued and upset with you. All right, we got a good set, a good size cut here, so I think what we're going to do is put a minimum under this thing for our conductor here riding on the bottom. So actually we got more than a minimum, but that's okay. It should shove. That way our poor conductor isn't going to be like, oh shoot, I don't know if we're going to get that switch right here. Come on. Stop, stop, stop. Sweet, that worked out. This switch, there we go. Catch back up. All right, let's see if we can get it moving. And we'll just keep this little setup under it so it won't be rolling all over the place, or as far as the slack light running in and out. There we go. Definitely more air than I meant to grab. Oh yeah, it's a lot more air. I didn't... Oh, that's right. I grabbed it when we stopped. I had to grab it, so yeah, we'll let go of it. Now let's get a little under it. Still went. That's weird. Like, I barely moved the big brake, and we still got 8 pounds instead of a minimum. We're gonna ride it all the way into the bottom. I don't know. Like, we're doing this like it's just one person. Technically, this would be 2 people, I would think, on that job back in the day, a brakeman and a conductor. But we're gonna do it as one man. No clue how much this is going to fit down in there, so we'll just ride the bottom, get it just clear of the switch, and then walk back to the head end and make our cut. There, just a little bit further. Maybe this will do right here. Alright, that'll do. We know we're in the clear. We clear this track. We're clear of the switch. Nothing is hanging out or fouling. So now we can walk back to the head end. Go up here, tie a few handbrakes, make our cut, and then set our other half over to this other track here. And then grab our train and go. And that'll be it. Relatively simple. These are cars waiting to be delivered too. Yeah, we've got quite a few here. The actual local is down on the oscilloscope. We did a video a long time ago and I just never brought him back up. I need to bring him back up here sometime so we can do some work in the yard. Maybe. I'd love to be able to do a multiplayer, another multiplayer. It's been a while. We need to do another one, but have some guys get in here. We can kind of clean up the route and get it set. Yeah, we've got quite a few cars here. These cars I tagged a little different. I didn't put A726 on them because that's like, it's the only local here in town. So, I mean, if it's going to Fitzgerald Yard to a customer, then that, by default, that's who's going to service it. Let's see. We'll just go ahead and cut right here. Yeah, I think this would be a good spot. Get a couple handbrakes. You and you. We have to take some slack. Yeah, we are. Close angle cock. All right, let's we're back in reverse. See if she'll roll back. We may have to bump it a little bit here. There we go. Pull the pin. Catch up. In the clear, let's take him ahead. All right, that switches line to the outside track, so we won't have to worry about it. All we gotta do is just get the one up here. We're just hanging on to a handful of cars, so we'll just use the independent. All right, switch is line in the clear. Let's come on back. I think we're only hanging on to what, probably six big chip hoppers. Yeah, these will fit no problem. We'll swing down. We're going to make our cut. We'll shove them in and clear, get some handbrakes, cut off from them, and go back to our train, and then we're done. That's it. There, just a little bit further. They're still good. We can watch the bottom from here. All right, that'll do. We'll hold tight on that. We may have to take some slack again. Yep. All right, close that guy. Let's get, we can get our handbrakes. Can't pull the pin yet, so we'll release all that, come back a little bit, get some slack, and then Come on. There we go. All right, let's catch up. And we'll take them ahead. All right, so easy peasy. Super, super easy when all you gotta do is just set out and then go about your business. It's a little different when you have to pick up too, and you got all these cuts you gotta sort through and hang on to and all that stuff, so just simple set out and go. Alright, feather independent a little bit here, slow her up. I wish, and I know I've heard other people say this too, really wish you had the ability to hang your head out past the side of the locomotive or car, whatever it is you're riding, so you can see. Alright, that'll do right here. Let's swing down. Hit our switch. Walk speed too. This is another one. This is like, to me, this shouldn't be default walk speed. This is like stroll. Walk speed should, I don't think default walk speed should be quite this fast, but it definitely needs to be faster than this. This is like take your time, try to go dead before you have to do any work kind of day, like where you just kind of moseying along, not in any hurry. You don't want to get into the terminal. You don't want to do something like you're torqued and you're dragging, This is kind of a rush. This is almost like a jog maybe, but yeah, it should definitely, default should be faster than what it is. All right, switches line in the clear. We'll come back. I do like the rail driver for switching, because I can look at it and see where everything is at. I know if I have full independent or a little independent or somewhere around a minimum to 10 pounds or, suppression or whatever, like you can just look at it and see, and you know where you're at. That's really, really nice, because when you do it with the keyboard, like once you make the keyboard click, unless you look at the top of the screen up there, you don't necessarily know what you're doing. Nice, that'll do. All right, let's connect and we'll open it partial. Coming on down. Let's give it a few notches. Oops, not that. A few notches of throttle here, so we can charge it up a little faster maybe. Yeah, it slowed down a good bit. So yeah, this was the yard. They did have some big white buildings here as part of the old shop from the steam engine days. It ran the other direction though. It wasn't like that. It ran this direction. And the only other thing I really know, like they had a turntable down here. There's some really cool pictures of it from back in the days, back in the 20s or early 1900s. But the only other thing I know is the P-patch over here, that track that kind of goes way out by itself and then back in. Zero clue why it's called the P-patch. What it did, I don't know anything about it other than the fact that that was a track that they used to like to tie trains down on when they were waiting on crews or something like that. They would tie them down on a P-patch. Seems like you see coal trains on it a lot. Maybe waiting on a crew. You know, they've just called a crew or they've yet to call a crew. There's not a crew on duty, that sort of thing. But yeah, the P-patch, I don't ever remember it being used as like a runaround or anything, like a siding for trains to just meet or anything like that. It was purely for like just parking stuff. It was a parking lot. I guess that's the simple way to put it, right? Just a parking lot. All right, let's see what we're hanging on to. Yeah, that was almost half our train, minus 200 feet, 3,300 tons, 3.6 HPT, 18 loads, 28 empties, 200 axles, and our length is going to be 2,628. So yeah, the train is going to get progressively smaller as we get up towards brown sand. In the books, like all the information I've seen, it's listed this train as Waycross to Manchester service, but as I've said many times, I personally don't ever remember seeing this train in Manchester. It's not to say that it didn't. It could very well have, and I just wasn't around when they did it, but I don't ever, like the times that I worked 720, and I worked it quite a few times, we were the only train in the yard. I don't ever remember their power sitting around or them doing any, like, I don't remember that at all. I feel like they did their turn at brown sand instead of coming all the way up to Manchester. I know for a fact they didn't set out or pick up in Manchester. When I was working, and I did this a lot, was on the 544. Generally did a set out in Manchester in the 592. I did set outs there a lot. 544 was the big one though. And a lot of times they'd be short on time. By the time they got to Manchester, they would go dead. And so you get called for a recrew, because we recruit everything from Manchester to Atlanta on the Fitzgerald side. They recruit everything from Fitzgerald to Waycross on the Fitzgerald side. And the big thing was, if you got called for a 544 recrew, did they make the set out? And sometimes you would go into the yard office and you would see the guys and they'd be like, oh, we got the set out for you, so all you gotta do is just get on her and go. And that was great. That was amazing, you know. And they were pretty good about that. I will say that they were pretty good about it. I think maybe once I had to do the set out, the train was just dead and there was no one around and the set out hadn't been made, and so we jumped on it and did it. But no, just set it in an empty track in the yard. But I definitely, I don't remember the 723 or 724. I don't remember seeing them. I don't remember hearing them. I just, it's an oddity, right? Maybe they were there, maybe they weren't. I just don't remember. But yeah, 544 did that. 592 usually would always have, you know, some kind of little Manchester set out. And for the most part, it was like boxes for Georgia Pacific. Yeah, a couple boxes for Georgia Pacific, maybe 2, 3, 4 boxes, something like that. It wasn't ever a lot, just a little bit. Okay, this guy, yeah, he's good to go. Sweet. We're set. Let's catch up and we'll get out of here. Nice. Make sure we get our window open. Where are we at here? Let's go ahead and draw the air down really tight. Almost 20, not quite. I want to get 20. Come on. I just need that 1 pound. Like, there we go. All right, we'll let her sit here for a minute. We'll hold tight. We'll let her do her thing. Basically, we're just drawing them down and we're watching the EOT. We're making sure that we have good continuity to the bottom. So if the EOT drops, then we know we're good. If it doesn't, then you know you've got a problem. But it's coming on down, so we know we're good. It's taking them a minute. It may not come on down. It should. There we go. Just took it a second. All right, so we know we got continuity to the bottom. That's good. And then the next thing we would do is just knock these off and take off and make sure the brakes release, and we're good to go. Anyway, I think we're going to kind of keep this one short so we can just focus on the set out itself and nothing else. I hope you guys enjoyed. If you did, be sure to hit that like, leave me a comment down below. Let me know what you think. Always feel free to ask questions. I always try to answer the best within my ability. Love all of you, and we'll catch you next time. Peace. No, big cat, no. Stop. Oh, no. No.